She says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion?
America, America, from sea to shining sea.
Welcome back to AllStarBuzz. Thank you for joining us. Before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Now, let's begin. It all started with a moment that was supposed to be about unity. Carrie Underwood, the beloved country music star known for her powerhouse vocals and grace, took the stage at Donald Trump's inauguration to perform America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
In her own words, she felt honored to be part of what she called a historic event, emphasizing her love for the country and the need for togetherness. Her fans, especially those who followed her career from American Idol days, saw it as a classy and patriotic gesture, nothing more, nothing less. But the response wasn't all applause. The performance, meant to be apolitical, immediately drew fire from critics who viewed it as a sign of support for Trump. Online discourse exploded, memes started flying, and social media split down the middle. For many on the political left, Carrie's participation was seen as an endorsement of Trump's politics, whether she meant it that way or not.
Carrie Underwood will take the stage at Trump's inauguration singing America the Beautiful. She said to the Post, "I love our country and I'm honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and to be a small part of this historic event. I am humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all come together in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." Well, that wasn't good enough for the tolerant left, of course, who is outraged over Carrie being outed as MAGA. X is blowing up with jokes about how she should sing her hit song Before He Cheats. Some are calling for her to be boycotted and canceled. John Rich weighed in, saying there are several top-tier country artists who support Trump, and I wish they'd finally have the balls to come forward and be counted. Ain't nothing outlaw about keeping your mouth shut to appease the record label. Carrie Underwood is making you look like a bunch of sissy boys. Carrie is talented, she is graceful, she is a class act, she has great legs, not that it matters, but she is everything that the tolerant left is not.
Despite her history of staying far from political controversy, Carrie suddenly found herself right in the middle of it, and things were only about to escalate from there. The controversy really caught fire when the View's Joy Behar decided to weigh in. On a live segment, Joy openly criticized Carrie Underwood's decision to perform at the inauguration, questioning how someone who claims to love their country could also normalize a convicted felon. Her tone was sharp, and her words were pointed, painting Carrie's performance not as a call for unity but as a political statement in support of Donald Trump. Joy's remarks didn't stop at general disapproval. She expressed genuine confusion and frustration, asking how anyone could reconcile patriotism with performing for a president she believed was trying to destroy the country. This wasn't just political commentary, it felt personal.
So I get why she did it.
I say.
I mean, right? And it's country music. I think it
I'll tell you
skews
right now,
lower.
I wouldn't do it, even though I
You
can't
would
sing.
not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every
Respectfully,
day.
a lot of my family voted for Trump. They love the country and vote for him. I think that people make these decisions
Fine.
for a lot of
Okay,
reasons.
fine. And I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it. I personally would not do it. No one's asked me, but that's another story.
And that's where the real problem began. Viewers noticed the segment wasn't just about differing opinions, it was about questioning someone's character and values on national television. The fallout was immediate. The internet lit up with debatesome applauding Joy for speaking her truth, while others accused her of crossing a line. And in Carrie's corner, fans weren't having it. To them, this wasn't fair criticism, it was a public attack on someone who had done nothing more than sing a patriotic song. What happened next, no one saw coming. While the online firestorm intensified, Carrie Underwood stayed silent, at least at first. Known for her poise and calm demeanor, she didn't rush to respond. But behind the scenes, something was brewing.
They did what they did. They felt that's what they needed to do, and I got to stand behind them.
Yeah.
You know, and I stand behind her no, not or not, because if I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right.
Of course.
And so
That's
I have
true.
to, I have to support. Doesn't mean I'm particularly interested in what I won't be watching, you know, but that's me.
And then, seemingly out of nowhere, the story took a dramatic turn. Carrie filed a defamation lawsuit against Joy Behar and The View. That's right, Carrie wasn't just brushing off the criticism or clapping back on social media, she was taking things to court. The lawsuit claimed that Joy's comments weren't just mean-spirited, they were baseless, damaging, and defamatory. In Carrie's view, the remarks directly harmed her reputation and implied political motivations that simply weren't there. For someone who had built a brand on being genuine, classy, and largely apolitical, the allegations cut deep. The legal action shocked many. Fans had expected Carrie to take the high road, but they never imagined she'd take legal action. Yet, it was clear, Carrie had reached her limit. The move wasn't just about personal justice, it felt like a message that even celebrities who usually stay quiet have a breaking point, and that public platforms come with responsibilities. And just like that, the conversation shifted from music and politics to media accountability. As news of the lawsuit broke, the reaction was immediate and explosive. Social media practically erupted. Hashtags like Stand With Carrie and Cancel Joy Behar began trending across platforms. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram were flooded with takes from both sides, some praising Carrie for defending herself, others defending Joy's right to speak freely. But one thing was clear. The situation had gone far beyond just a disagreement over a performance. Carrie's supporters came out in full force. They saw her as standing up not just for herself, but for anyone who's been publicly mischaracterized or shamed for their choices. Meanwhile, Joy faced a tidal wave of criticism. Many accused her of using her platform on The View to push a personal agenda and unfairly attack a fellow woman in the public eye. The whole thing became a cultural flashpoint. Was this about politics, personal beliefs, or something deeper like the boundaries of free speech and media? The lawsuit had struck a nerve with the public, and it was no longer just about Carrie and Joy. It became a symbol of a larger conversation. How far is too far when it comes to public criticism, and who gets to decide what crosses the line? As the debate raged on, one thing became clear: Carrie Underwood had ignited a larger movement. Her fans weren't just defending her talent, they were celebrating her decision to take a stand against what they saw as media bullying. Comment sections filled with messages calling her a queen, a role model, and the class we need in this world. To them, Carrie had done what many celebrities were too afraid to do: challenge the media narrative head-on. Country music artist John Rich even chimed in, applauding Carrie's courage and calling out other country stars who he believed were staying silent to protect their careers. He said what many fans were thinking, that Carrie had shown more bravery in one lawsuit than others had in years. It wasn't just about one TV comment anymore, it was about principle, about refusing to let media personalities control the story unchallenged. This level of support only fueled the movement further. Carrie's quiet strength and refusal to engage in public mudslinging made her look even more dignified. While others were shouting, she was moving through legal channels. And to many, that made her the clear grown-up in the room. The message was simple: grace isn't weakness, it's power. Meanwhile, The View was feeling the heat. Critics began turning their attention to the show itself, accusing it of being less a talk show and more a platform for divisive rhetoric. Viewers who had once tuned in for lively discussions were now questioning whether The View had crossed a line into personal attacks disguised as commentary. And Joy Behar was at the center of it all. Memes flooded social media, highlighting the contrast between Carrie and Joy. One viral image showed Carrie poised and elegant beside a screenshot of Joy mid-rant captioned, "Grace under fire versus a dumpster fire." It was brutaland. It reflected a growing sentiment that The View was no longer a place for balanced conversation. Longtime fans of the show were split. Some defended Joy's right to speak her mind, while others said she had lost credibility. Even more, people began to question whether the show still lived up to its purpose. Was it encouraging dialogue or just stirring outrage? Carrie's lawsuit had done more than defend her reputation. It had cracked open a deeper conversation about what kind of discourse we're encouraging in mainstream media and whether the public was finally getting tired of the noise. Behind the scenes, tensions were reportedly rising at ABC. Rumors began swirling that network executives were not pleased with how things were unfolding. Joy Behar's comments had triggered a national backlash, and now, with a defamation lawsuit in the mix, the situation was becoming a PR nightmare. Insiders claimed that ABC was beginning to question whether Joy's outspoken style was becoming more of a liability than an asset. While The View has always thrived on controversy to some extent, this time felt different. It wasn't just about backlash on social media, it was about potential legal consequences and damage to the network's image. Executives were allegedly concerned about advertiser reactions, audience trust, and how the show's future might be affected if the situation escalated any further. This raised a very real question. Could Joy Behar actually face consequences from within her own network? It was a shocking possibility, considering her long-standing role on the show. But with public opinion shifting and corporate leadership watching closely, even a media veteran like Joy wasn't untouchable anymore. The stakes were climbing, and it seemed like every word spoken or left unspoken was adding more fuel to the fire. As pressure mounted, even the dynamics within The View began to shift. Observant viewers noticed something off during the episodes that followed the controversy. Joy's co-hosts seemed uncomfortable, their usual banter more cautious, their expressions more guarded. And then came the reports that The View's most high-profile figure, Whoopi Goldberg, was working overtime behind the scenes to smooth things over. Insiders claimed Whoopi was trying to de-escalate the situation and protect the integrity of the show, possibly even trying to mediate between Joy and the network execs. But despite her efforts, the backlash kept growing. Social media wasn't letting this one go, and each new clip of Joy from old episodes was being recirculated, reanalyzed, and criticized. Even supporters of the show began to admit that this controversy had struck deeper than the usual headline drama. It wasn't just a one-off heated remark, it was starting to reflect a pattern that audiences were no longer willing to accept. And through it all, Carrie Underwood remained silent in the public eye, allowing the legal process and the public discourse to unfold without jumping into the fray. The contrast was striking, and it was only making Carrie's position stronger. Carrie's silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. While the media cycle churned and The View struggled to manage the fallout, Carrie Underwood was making a clear statement without saying a word. You can't just attack someone's character on national television and expect to walk away without consequences. By filing the lawsuit, Carrie wasn't just defending her name, she was drawing a line in the sand. She was saying that no matter how famous or powerful someone is, they don't have the right to twist your actions, question your patriotism, or assign political motives where there are none. That kind of public shaming couldn't go unchallenged. And the public? They noticed. Respect for Carrie skyrocketed, even among those who didn't necessarily agree with her performance at the inauguration. People admired her restraint, her clarity, and her refusal to play the media's game. In a world full of knee-jerk reactions and social media feuds, Carrie's legal approach felt mature, measured, and refreshingly grounded. She reminded everyone that defending yourself doesn't always mean shouting louder, it can also mean holding others accountable the right way. And in doing so, she gained not just support, but something even rarer in today's world: respect from both sides. In the end, this wasn't just about Carrie Underwood versus Joy Behar. It became a larger battle over free speech, accountability, and the role of media personalities in shaping public narratives. Carrie's lawsuit sparked a national conversation that asked, where is the line between opinion and defamation? And when someone crosses it, should they be held responsible even if they sit on a talk show couch every weekday morning? For Joy Behar, the stakes have never been higher. With backlash from viewers, questions from ABC executives, and growing discomfort among her co-hosts, this moment could mark a turning point in her career. Will she face real consequences? Or will the controversy fade as so many others have? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: Carrie Underwood made a statement. Not just with her performance, not just with her silence, but with her decision to stand up when it mattered most. She reminded us that character still counts, and that sometimes the quietest people make the loudest impact. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, drop your thoughts in the comments. See you on the next one.